Alitam Palam Sukamukad Amridam Driva Samyuktam Bhibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha Narayanam Namaspritya Naram Shaivanarottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Vasudheve Bhavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahaitukam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Vasudeva Para Veda Vasudeva Paramakaha Vasudeva Para Yoga Vasudeva Para Kriyaha Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapaha Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Para Gatihi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Nama Sankirtam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Shamanam Tam Namami Harim Param Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. It's nice to be back on Saturday morning with you all. Hopefully, we can continue regularly. Hope you all doing fine. Nice to see you, some of the kids here. Hopefully, we can get our kids back going forward, full-fledged. So, I'm not sure how much of you remember what we did last. I'm not going to ask that question because I forgot myself. So I had to go back and refer where we stopped. We are in the 10th canto, and we covered 79 chapters out of 90 chapters. 79 chapters been completed. We are in the last 10 chapters of this 10th canto. Beautiful chapters. So whatever, whether we remember, we don't remember what we covered so far, all these days, all these years, but if we can just remember one thing, then I think we are good. That is Krishna. So somehow or the other, if you just remember Krishna in some way or the other, some form or the other, then I think we are good. And that is also the message of the drama that we saw earlier. But to remember Krishna, generally we have an idea that it is easy to remember Krishna if we don't have responsibilities in our life. If I have no family, or if I don't have am retired, like how the Narayan Prabhu's drama said, retired, then we can remember Krishna very well. That is one way of thinking. I was just a few years back, one devotee was talking to me, and he said, I wish I had known before Krishna consciousness, I wouldn't have got married. Not that his family life is bad. That's not what he meant to say. He said the idea, the message he was trying to convey is that he could have spent more time thinking about Krishna. Now that he has to take care of his family, his children, he has to go to job, he has to do so many things. Therefore, it's a challenge to remember Krishna all the time, 24/7, 365 days, which is a real concern. At least the thought process to have the thought that one has that I'm not able to remember Krishna is a nice thought. It's not to condemn oneself. At least someone is thinking on those lines. If that is the only way where we can remember Krishna by giving up things, not having family, then then what is how the world is going to function? Because Krishna is the one who designed this whole program of being a brahmachari and being a grahastha, and then having a vanaprastha life or a retired life, and then sannyas life. If attaining God is only the means of being renouncing everything and being a sannyasi, then why even there are other three varnas, ashramas, brahmacharya ashram, grahastha ashram, and vanaprastha ashram. Every single person can be a sannyasi and then easily go back to God. But that's not what the message of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or any scriptures for that matter. Whichever ashrama that we sit in, we fit in, whether it's a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, or sannyas. In other words, one can be a sannyas, but being a sannyas, they may be constantly thinking about when am I going, where am I going to get my next meal? Where am I going to sleep tonight? Right? Then sannyasi is thinking about his protection, which is not supposed to. Then what is the use of being a sannyasi? Right? So the point here is, whatever the ashram that we fit into, the goal is to somehow or the other, to the best that we can remember Krishna, to the best. Not a person who's having a family with children may not be able to think Krishna constantly, like a sannyasi, like a vanaprastha. But whatever the best that he can think Krishna, Krishna accepts that. That's the important point. Krishna accepts that also. Therefore, am I trying to make my life in a way that it reminds me of Krishna is what we have to focus on. Whether it's a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, or sannyas. So how can we program our life in such a way that I can remember Krishna? Right? One may be able to, someone was telling, I can't remember where I heard this one. Someone was telling, a lady was decided to retire her life. She understood how important it is to remember Krishna at the time of death. Therefore, she gave up everything, and then she went to Vrindavan and stayed her life, rest of her life, 15, 20 years. She was living in Vrindavan because she decided if when she dies, she wants to die in Vrindavan Dham. So she was there. When she was in her, whatever the age is, matured age, her relative from Mumbai called. Her relative from Mumbai called. You now that you're left your family, you left everything, you renounced everything, you're settled down in Vrindavan, you don't want to come back to Mumbai, but you have so much property. But you have brothers and sisters. None of them can sell or do anything because you are not able to sign the paper. So you have to come to Mumbai so you can sign the paper and you can go back to Vrindavan. Otherwise, these properties are going to go to government or someone is going to take away and no one is going to use our father's ancestor property. And they requested her to come to Mumbai. And then they made an arrangement for her to come to Mumbai. And she also thought, okay, why someone else has to suffer because of me? Let me go to Mumbai and sign the paper. I don't want anything, not even a dollar from it. I will sign the paper and come back to Vrindavan and continue to live here. So she came to Mumbai. It's, to the surprise, she got into something and she left her life in Mumbai. All the way she lived in Vrindavan all these years, just for one purpose, one reason, that she wanted to die in Vrindavan Dham. But one day she made a trip to Mumbai and that day she died. Can you just believe, can you just imagine how whole things works? It's so very difficult for ordinary people like us to even imagine how God functions in each one of our life. When the time will come, we may make all this beautiful arrangement. I will make sure I will remember Krishna at time of death. But is it in our hand that we are going to remember Krishna at time of death? Can't even. You, you can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. Therefore, Krishna himself very clearly says, "Apicha." he uses this api, at least also the meaning of api in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where it's been told today also. He says that at least, even at the time of death, you have to remember me. That means what? During normal lifetime, you should have remembered me. So at the time of death, you can remember me. Not only at the time of death, you remember me. During the entire life, you should remember me. And at the end of the life, if you remember or you don't remember, Krishna says, I will remember you. That's the beauty of Krishna giving assurance to us. He gives us assurance. If you lead your life in Krishna consciousness, and when you die unexpected way, I'm sure you can't remember me because you're going, no one knows how you're going to die. But even if you don't remember at the time of death, I will remember you. Therefore, it is important for us to make our life in such a way it is Krishna consciousness. Now the question comes, if everything is nice in our life, then we can remember Krishna. If I already have a problem in my life, I don't have proper food to eat, I don't have a proper job, I don't have a place to live, how can I remember Krishna? First thing is to life has to be settled. Life has to be nice. To eat food, children has to be in a good education, the spouse has to be taken care. I have enough of savings in my bank, so in case if I die also, the family is taken care. Everything is nice. So I have to work now. Then thinking of Krishna automatically comes. And Krishna consciousness program is actually doesn't work like that. It is actually a reverse of what we just said. Everything else can wait, but what cannot wait is Krishna consciousness. Bhakti towards Krishna cannot wait. Because what we are going to carry from one life to another life is not our wealth, not our education, school education, not our friends, not our father, mother, brother, sister, not even our cell phone, not even our car. So what is going to be taken along us is the bhakti that we perform. The bhakti will continue, but nothing else will continue. Therefore, it is important that we focus mostly on bhakti. How is even it is all these are possible if life is not well? Therefore, Bhagavatam narrates a beautiful story that we are going to see today. Parikshit Maharaj was hearing all these narrations of Krishna and Sukadeva Goswami, starting from Krishna, advent of Krishna, how Krishna appeared, and how Krishna was migrated, moved from one place to another place, Mathura to Gokul, and then how he was growing in Gokul, where he met with, he encountered with so many demons, starting from Putana to end of Keshi. He killed all the demons. And then Krishna, after that, he was brought to Mathura by Akrura. And then over there, he killed Kamsa, Chanura, Mardhana. Mardhana means to kill everyone. Then he killed everyone. And then he established Dwaraka. Then he also, with his queens, headed by Rukmini and everyone, he was living a life over there. And he also visited Hastinapur. Over there, he went and met Yudhishthira and took care of them. The puja, special puja happened to him. So, as Parikshit Maharaj was hearing the story, he was feeling that Sukadeva Goswami is concluding Krishna's pastime. Concluding Krishna's pastime. So Parikshit Maharaj said, kindly please do not stop telling about Krishna. Can you tell me more? But also Parikshit Maharaj can see Sukadeva Goswami's eyes were wet with tears as he was speaking all these things. He was becoming more emotional. So Parikshit Maharaj asked, I think there is more to tell about Krishna. Krishna's pastime cannot end so soon. And looking at your face, looking at your eyes, I feel there is something very important that you want to tell. Is there a story that you want to share, which is so great, so touching? And Sukadeva Goswami said, My dear Parishit Maharaj, your desire, your greed to hear Krishna's story cannot be compared to anything. You have so much interest in hearing of Krishna's story, you never get tired of hearing Krishna's story. This is a sign of our um, growth in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we see devotees, some guests come into our temple, and when the lectures were going on, the speaker will be giving classes, and this guest will come straight, go to the deities, have darshan, and then look around like this, and then walk away because they don't have the interest of hearing Krishna Katha. They only want to see, take darshan of the Lord. But then somehow or the other, we get interest. That one starting point of coming to the temple, having the darshan of the Lord, may connect them to come back again. Hey, let's come and sit and hear what this guy is talking. Whenever I come on Sundays, these people are talking something. Let me sit and hear. First time they sit and hear, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the Lord of all. From him, everything comes and everything goes within him. The creation, maintenance, destruction, everything happens by Krishna. And this person, when he hears this one, he said, oh, come on. What are you talking about? Then he just hears for some time, he goes. Next time he comes, his chance stays for another extra 5 minutes, another extra 5 minutes, another extra 5 minutes. Then he stays for the entire class. He sees something is very interesting here. These people are talking very nice things about Krishna. Then the person starts coming next Sunday and next Sunday and next Sunday and started captivated by the pastimes of Krishna. Then this person thinks, why only on Sundays I need to hear? Is there any other programs or classes that I can hear? Well, there are other classes you can attend. And then slowly, slowly, when we see, when the taste of hearing increases, that tells that we are growing in Krishna consciousness. When the taste of hearing decreases, that tells that we have committed something wrong in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we must have offended a devotee or we must have committed some mistake. Therefore, our Krishna takes away the interest of hearing Krishna Katha. That's where things starts. So we have to be very careful to measure, is my interest increasing in Krishna consciousness to hear Krishna's story, or it is stagnant, or it is decreasing day by day. So this is very important. As we grow in, as the year passes, our hearing should increase. We want to hear more about Krishna. We want to hear more about Krishna. Even if it is the same story we are hearing, we want to hear more about Krishna. Therefore, Parishit Maharaj was saying, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, your interest of wanting to hear about Krishna, just it cannot, unimaginable. We have so much interest to hear about Krishna pastime. Yes, I have a story which touches my heart, which will touch everyone's heart. And you should hear that story. Parishit Maharaj, eagerness to wanting to hear the story was increasing. You know, that usually a very nice storyteller does not tell the story immediately. They build up such a case, such a thing, and think, finally, come on, what is the story? Tell me. When especially tell the story to the children, you don't tell everything at the starting. Therefore, the father, mother came and gave the gift to the daughter on her birthday, and the daughter became happy. The story ends. Well, that's not interesting story. And then they build up the story saying that in a place, there was a family and they had a beautiful daughter and she was very dear to them and she's very charming and the father was doing everything for her daughter and their birthday was coming. So the story builds up. Like that Parishit Maharaj was telling, come on, Sukadeva Goswami, enough, please tell me the story. I cannot wait anymore, any longer. And Sukadeva Goswami was telling the story to Parishit Maharaj, which was heard and told by Suta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya, which is what we are hearing here. There was a Brahmana by name Sudhama. More than his name as Sudhama, he was very popularly known as Kuchela. Kuchela means One was wearing a cloth, worn out cloth, the cloth which no one wants to wear. So he was wearing that. That shows his poverty. He was a poor Brahmana. He had a family, but this Brahmana was so much devoted to Krishna. Most of the time, he always thinks about Krishna. He reads such Puranas, Itigasas, and Vedas. He was spending most of his time just doing bhajan and reading the scriptures. So, Sutta Goswami says that Vasudeva Bhagavati Nigamna Hridaya Abravit, he says, Sutta Goswami says. That's questioned by Parikshit Maharaj, the powerful sage. Sukadeva Goswami replied, is heartfully absorbed in meditation of Vasudeva. Krishnas yasit saka kaschit brahmano brahmavitamaha virakta indriyateshu prasantatma jitendriyaha. Now he says about this Brahmana. There was a Brahmana. This Brahmana was Brahmavit. Brahmano Brahmavittamaha. Brahmavittamaha. Brahmana means, important thing is we have to know about Brahmana. That is what has been mentioned here. He is a Brahmavittamaha, number one. Second one is Indriyarteshu. Vikarta Indriyarteshu. That is number two. Number three is Prashantaha. That is number three. Number four is Jitendriyaha. These are four qualities of Brahmana. And this Brahmana that Sukadeva Goswami is saying that he had these qualities. This Brahmana's name was Sudhama. Sudhama. He is very well learned in Vedas, Itihasas, and Puranas. Sometimes people like to be born as a Brahmana, or sometimes who's a Brahmana, they think themselves to be very proud to be a Brahmana. Why? Why people are very much interested in being a Brahmana is because Brahmanatvam, or the Brahmanical nature, is that they are very close to Brahman. Brahmanas are very close to Brahman. Brahman is the absolute truth, God. They are very close to God. How are they very close to God? Because of their Vedic study. Every day they recite Vedas. Every day they perform pujas. Every day they follow Sandhya Vandana, whichever everything that they have to follow. They follow everything perfectly. Therefore, they are very dear to Krishna. Because they are very dear to Krishna, Krishna gives a special mercy towards Brahmanas. Well, a Brahmana must do all these things. Then he is called as Brahmana. Therefore, he is close to Krishna. Therefore, it is easy for him to attain moksha. Brahmanas who are not doing any of these things, by birth, they are Brahmanas. By qualities, they are not. They are simply, by certificate, they can call themselves, I am born as a Brahman. I am Brahman Jati. I'm having a sacred thread across my shoulder. All these things are very good. But the question is, are you getting closer to God? Are you every day studying Veda, Adhyana? Veda Adhyana must be performed. Every day, are you doing Yajna, Yaga, Homa? Are you teaching Vedas to others? Are you performing puja for others? Are you following all the niyamas, rules and regulation of Brahmanas? If not, you are just by name Brahman. You're not really Brahmana. You're not close to God. By birth, you're God. By birth, you are Brahmana. Therefore, it is important to understand a Brahman means one is Brahma Vittamaha. Vittamaha means knowledgeable, very learned in Vedas. That is Brahmana quality. He cannot say that I am very learned. I went to this university of whatever it is, the topmost university that you can think in the United States of America, or even in India, an IIT or whatever it is. You know, I'm sometimes we get this messages, WhatsApp messages. I got one such message that in the world top companies, you know, who is the CEO of the topmost company? You pick a name, those things. They are Indians, well, Indians, not only Indians, they are Brahmanas. So I got such a message saying that this company's CEO is so and so Brahmana. This company CEO so and so is also Brahmana. You see, therefore, Brahmana is so great. It is nothing to be proud of. One should be feeling shameful actually, because birth we have got. If you got a birth of a Brahmana, it's not to become a CEO of a company. That is not why someone is born as a Brahmana. Because of the Purva Karma Vasanam, somehow or the other, by God's mercy, one is born as a Brahmana. That means you're pretty close to God, pretty close to God. You have to accelerate the program to get closer to God to attain moksha. Not to give up your dharma of a Brahmana and then take up a responsibility of to become a big company CEO or shareholder or whatever it is. Then you're not following the dharma of a Brahmana, you're getting away from that one. Therefore, it's a sad news to promote that Brahmanas are intelligent, Brahmanas are leading the world in big, big companies. It is a shame for Brahmana Jati, in fact, because they're going away from what they're supposed to do. But this Brahmana that we are seeing here is Brahmavittamaha, Brahmavittamaha, who knows the Vedas, who knows the truth of Vedas, what the message of Vedas are. Vikarta Indriyateshu. Vikarta Indriyateshu means is Vikartaha. Vikartaha Indriyateshu means one is completely detached from sense enjoyment. This is the second quality of a Brahmana. Brahmana is the one who is completely detached from the sense enjoyment. The enjoyments are derived from seeing beautiful things, hearing very beautiful songs, smelling some nice thing, by tasting something palatable, by touching with things that are soft. Is completely detached from any of this sense object enjoyment. So vikarta, viraktaha, viraktaha, indriyateshu, prashantatma. Is prashantatma. He is not going to think, oh my God, what is going to happen to my job now? What is going to happen to my family now? None of those things comes into his thought. He is peaceful, prashanta. Prashantatma means he as Atma is Shanti, in always Shanti, is not in anxiety. He is a true Brahmana. He is not going to think about what is going to happen to me if I don't have a job, if I don't have a house, if I don't have money, if I don't have an insurance, if I don't have a green card, if I'm not a citizen. So none of these things are a problem for him at all. He's prashantatma, meaning internally he's happy with what he has. That is Brahmana. He never feels jealous about saying, oh, look at my neighbor. He has a better house, bigger than me, better car. Look at his family, his children are going to a topmost university. What about my children? So he doesn't think about any of this matter, any of this, because why? Prashantatma is happy within himself. He's completely satisfied. He's completely satisfied. In Jitendriya means one who has conquered his senses. Jitendra, Jitendriya. Jitendra means one who has conquered his, not the movie actor Jitendra. This Jitendra is what the Jitendra that Krishna is talking about, one who has completely conquered his senses. Not other one. Not other one. So therefore, this is the qualities of a Brahmana. This Brahmana who was living at that time had all these qualities. By birth, he was Brahmana. By practice, he was a Brahmana. By control of his senses, he was Brahmana. He was completely detached from the material enjoyment and is completely satisfied within himself. Therefore, he is a Brahmana. Therefore, this is what has been important to understand. Am I being a Brahmana or am I behaving like a Brahmana? Abrahmana. Abrahmanas are, they can lead however they want to live their life. Right? Opposite of Brahmanas, Abrahmana, Abrahama. Right? Therefore, this Brahmana was very happy. And then he was leading a family life. Usually we think family life is very difficult to life, but he was having a family life, householder. He maintained himself, whatever it came by itself. He did not struggle to find a second job, third job, fourth job, or jumping from one job to another job. He was not doing any of these things. He was simply happy with whatever comes by itself. And the family was also happy, interestingly. Well, that is how the real family must be. Right? When the wife is satisfied with whatever the husband supplies. The wife does not complain saying, you know what you're earning is not enough, my dear husband. You may have to find another job, or you may have to do a second job. This is not at all sufficient. Whereas the wife is so very talented that she maintains the house with whatever the money that husband provides. And on top of it, she's so very intelligent that she saved, even if the husband only gets, I'm just throwing a number here, even if the husband only gets 1,000 rupees, $1,000 in a month, half of the money goes in savings. She's so very intelligent and smart. She know how to run the family with whatever the money it comes. That's a spouse that this Sudama had. So Sudama was constantly in always reading the scriptures and doing worship of the Lord, the deities, and chanting the name of the Lord. And at times he goes out, uncha vritti. Uncha vritti means a brahmanas are allowed to go and beg for alms from one house to another house. Whatever they give, they bring it back home and then use those things and cook and eat. That is how the true brahmanas were living those days. That's how but not only that, they cook first and then go out and call for people who are hungry, please come and have eat at our house. And they come and eat. Whatever left over after that is what the family will eat for that day. If anything is left out. And Unchavriti, when they go, the husband goes and asks for alms to the family. And if he doesn't get anything, and they come back, he comes back and think this is how God wants our day to be today. No food. We have to fast today. That is how Sudama was leading his life. And his wife was so very cooperative. She never complained. Interesting, they had children also. Beautiful children. They never said and told father that, my dear father, you never took us to McDonald's. You did not take us to this shop or that shop. Always cook home and eat food, whatever becomes, and very simple food. You never made pizza for us, pasta for us. They never demanded anything. Whatever is left out, whatever the parents gives, they eat that. That's how the family was leading the life. Such a beautiful family. Very hard to find such families. Therefore, one fine day, Sudama was reading the scriptures, Vedas, constantly. Then he went in deep into that one. He didn't realize the time was passing. He was supposed to go and for his unchavritti, meaning go and ask for some groceries from the other householders and bring it home. That day he totally lost track and he was constantly reading and doing japa that day. And his wife was getting ready because his husband is going to come and children are going to come and they're going to ask, Mom, where is the lunch? Children are going to ask, whatever it is, but they're going to ask, provide us the lunch. And the husband Sudama is going to come and sit for his lunch. And she was in a panicked state. She was going to go and she went into the kitchen and opened all the grocery boxes. Everything was empty. Nothing was there. Total empty. Because, now we have Sam's Club, we have Costco, we have all these big shops where we can buy everything in bulk and store it in our basement or storage and whatever it is for next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. We don't need to worry about it. We have everything stored, stocked, right? But the Brahmanas never store anything. They take things on that day, they finish everything, and they don't save for the next day. There's no to-go box concept at all those days, by the way. You'll be surprised to hear this one. There is no Ziplocs. Believe it or not, no Ziploc concept at all. when Sudama was living. That means no packing. You come and eat and go. That's it. You come and eat, you pack for tonight. First of all, you come for dinner. You eat up to the neck. And then you pack for after you reach home, because 40 minutes drive or 30 minutes drive, by the time whatever you ate will be digested before going to bed. What in case when you go to sleep, you're hungry. Therefore, pack some small packets, Ziplocs. Before going to bed, you can eat. And what about in the morning, sir? Tomorrow is Monday, my friend. Who is going to cook in the morning? Therefore, pack for tomorrow also. If possible, pack for Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day. That packing concept is not there in those days. You come, eat, go. They never know that you can also pack and go. They are not so smart like Kaliuga people like us. So Sudama, wife, did not have anything at home. She came to the puja room, and her husband was keep on studying the scriptures. She didn't want to trouble. She didn't want to bother him. She went back thinking what to do now. She again came back and he was still reading. And then somehow or other, she has to tell him that, my dear husband, something has to be done at home for the children. And then she went and told her husband, my dear Prabhu, and then he realized that, oh my God, it's time passed. He said, Kalyani, her name was Kalyani. She said, Kalyani, what's the matter? My dear husband, I didn't want to disturb you actually, but then, the time has passed. You didn't go for Uncha Vritti. Therefore, we don't have anything at home to cook. And you know what Sudama felt? Oh, wonderful. So I can save some time of eating. Now I can do extra rounds of chanting. Instead of spending time in eating for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, I save the 30 minutes of eating into extra rounds of chanting. That is the level of consciousness that Sudama was had. Some of you must be thinking, what a horrible husband he is. He's thinking only about himself. What about his wife? What about his children? But his wife did not complain anything. That's the greatness of his wife. She didn't say it. She understood the mood of her husband. She supported her husband. Therefore, she went back and she just took a glass of water, gave to her children. She drank a glass of water and the day ended. But this is not a one special day it happened. This is how most of the time at home. Most of the days were going like this. One fine day, Kalyani was talking to her husband. And the husband was spending some time with his children. And what of the time he spends with children was all about Krishna Katha, telling them about only stories about Krishna. The children knows everything in Bhagavatam. So much so every single day, he only tells about Krishna. And then whenever he gets some time to spend with his wife, you know what? What does a husband and wife, how do the husband and wife spend their time? It depends on what they talk, is what is going to define the quality of the family life. Right? If the husband and wife get together and talk about something else, about other family, talks about what are we going to do tonight, which movie we are going to go, or what are we going to do, all sort of different things. Right? Then the purpose of husband and wife sitting together is not going to develop bhakti, it's going to create more of karma. Whereas Sudama and Kalyani, when they got together, Sudama keeps telling about one thing. That is all about Krishna. You know how Krishna was? I know Krishna. He was my friend. We went to school together. We went to elementary school, middle school, and high school, all the school together. We were together in the same class. Our teacher was same teacher. So he talks about Krishna, 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 Krishna to his wife. So one day, his wife came and Sudama was sitting and studying the scriptures. And then he was chanting this mala. That time Sudama came, his wife came, he saw he was still engaged in devotional service. So she went back. After 5 minutes, she came back again. Again, he was continued studying. So he went back. Like that, she made few trips. But Sudama noticed this one. And he turned and said, Kalyani, is there something that you want to tell me? That you keep coming in and out, going in and out, going in and out? Is there something that you want? Should I do? And she said, yes, Prabhu, I have something I want to tell you, share with you. And Sudama closed everything and paid his attention towards his wife. She said, what is it you want to tell? And Kalyani said, I often keep hearing you tell me that Krishna is your friend. And then as soon as she said Krishna is your friend, he started telling again. He went into a storytelling mood of how Krishna went together to school and middle, kindergarten and elementary. He started telling the whole story again. They went, and what she wanted to tell, she couldn't tell. And the day ended. Next day again, same thing happened. And he said, Kalyani, is that something that you want to tell me? You keep coming in and out. Is there any message? And then she said, yes. And then he closed all the books and everything. He said, what is it you want to tell? And she was a little alert this time because she knows if she's going to tell something and he's going to get into his mood of telling about Krishna and she won't be able to convey the message. And therefore, she said, I know Krishna is your friend. You both studied together from starting from kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, etc. She started telling all those things. And then Sudama was happily hearing all the story. Now, instead of he telling, she was telling. So he was happily hearing the story. And you told me that Krishna is so great. He lives in Dwaraka with his queens and he's so opulent. He has many palaces and he's Bhakta Vatsala. He cares for his devotees. He takes care of his devotees. You don't even have to ask him anything. He knows everything in and out because he's Paramatma within all of us. Therefore, why don't you go and meet your friend Krishna in Dwaraka? Somehow this is what she wanted to convey the message, but she took 4 hours, 5 hours to come to this point where Sudama can hear the message she wants to tell. Therefore, Sudama said, what? What did you say? I want you to go and meet your friend Krishna. You keep telling that Krishna is your friend, right? Of course, Krishna is my friend. I've never seen Krishna came here to see you even one single time. But you keep telling Krishna is your friend. And I never seen you going and meeting your friend in Dwaraka. I never seen, but you keep telling Krishna is your friend. You both are thick friends. Why don't you go and meet Krishna? And then Sudama was thinking, why? Why in the world all of a sudden Kalyani is wanting me to go and see Krishna? Why? What is the reason that she wants me to go and see Krishna? But then when his wife was telling that her husband should go and meet Krishna, she was literally shivering. She was literally shivering because she was afraid to convey this message because she doesn't want her husband to feel that she wants her husband to go and meet Krishna so that he can get something from Krishna, because that is really bad. She doesn't want her husband to think bad about her, that she wanted her husband to go so that Krishna can give something so that they can have a rich, happy life. That's not what she wanted to tell her husband. But then she somehow conveyed the message, why don't you go? And then she said, well, I will go. He said, I will go. But then that day he didn't go. Couple of days passed. Again, his wife came and told, my dear husband, do you remember? You said you'll go and meet your friend Krishna. And he said, yeah, I remember that I told you. Didn't I tell you last Sunday? Yeah, you told me last Sunday. And now it's already another Sunday. 1 week passed. And then Sudama said, oh, you know what? Surely I will go. And he said, 1 week, another 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. Every time he asked, he keeps telling that I will go and meet Krishna. But one fine day, Kalyani said, my dear husband, you've been telling this for many, many days. I think it's high time that you need to go and meet your friend. He'll be happy to see you. You don't have to go and see him. This is what she said. You don't have to go and see him. You go and present yourself. Let him see you. This has a big difference of meaning. Right? She said, you don't need to go and see Krishna, but you go there, let Krishna look at you, and things will change. Just if we present ourselves in front of Krishna and let ourselves to be seen by Krishna, our life will change. Our life will change. And one should have faith in this statement. That is why we go to the temple. Why we go to the temple? If the beginners will tell, I go to temple to take darshan. The advanced devotees will tell, I go to the temple so the Lord can see me. Because we go and take the darshan is better, or the Lord vision glance falling on us is better. We don't even know how to see the deities, first of all. What are we going to see when we see the deity? We'll see, nice, he's smiling. Some sentimental dialogues we may say throughout. Nice dress, nice altar. We can throw some nice words, but then turn the whole scene around. If Krishna's glancing at us, our life changes. Our life changes. Sarva Papa Vinirmuktam. All the sins, everything will go away. Then one may ask a question. Okay, I go to the temple, let Krishna look at me. You said all the Papa will go away. Then why am I still here? I should have gone back to Krishna. How Krishna is so very powerful to remove all our sins in the matter of second. We are also equally so powerful to collect millions of lifetime bad karma in a second. That is a capacity that we have. Therefore, we stay here. We stay here. So Sudama's wife said, you simply go there and let Krishna look at you. And Sudama asked, what is going to happen if Krishna look at me, Kalyani? And she says, we even without asking, we will be loaded with wealth. We will be loaded with wealth for the rest of our life. And as soon as Sudama heard, he got a little disgusted. He looked at his wife and said, what? I have to go all the way to Krishna so that Krishna can look at me and I can become a rich man? Is that what you want me to do? What a shame. How can I go and ask Krishna that I want money? It's the disgrace for our friendship. It's not good. But what his wife said was, not the material wealth. The wealth of bhakti will be loaded upon us. She is equally devoted. She was equally knowledgeable, like her husband, in the bhakti. So when she said wealth, she didn't mean the wealth of material wealth. She meant the wealth of bhakti. Therefore, they led a life together in such a way in Krishna consciousness, only to satisfy Krishna. There was one nice story of a great saint by name Kuratarwan. Kuratarwan. So Kuratarwan was a disciple of Sripad Ramanujacharya. He was living on the northern side of Tamil Nadu. He was a very, very rich man. He was such a rich man that his the door bells were made of gold. And all the studded thing on the door were with the pearls and rubies and all those great things. Such a rich person. He lived in a place called Kuram. And his wife was very devoted to her husband. And they were Every day, every single day, they do Annadhanam, feed Bhagavatas, devotees, every single day. And the day they close, every day, the way that they close is not because they ran out of food to distribute. They have to close the door because there's no more people to come and take. That means they still have things to give, but they didn't have any more people to come and take the food. That wealth they had, that much wealth they had. One day, when Kuratarwan's house door were closed, the bell made a big noise, and there's a temple close by where Lakshmi heard this bell sound, and she said, "What is this at this time? This noise?" And then Krishna said to her, "It is Kuratarwan who's closing the door after finishing his Annadhanam to all the Bhagavatas." And then, really, if he keeps spending money so much, what will happen to his life, my lord? Everything will be spent. What will he do? He seemed to be a great dharmic person in Annadhanam. And these conversations were heard by the pujari who was there. He heard this conversation. The next day, the pujari came. Tirukottinambi. The pujari came, and then he told Kuratarwan that the conversation happened. And as soon as Kuratarwan heard this one, he miserably felt bad about himself. Rather than me telling Ramanuja Dasa, I have been glorified as Annadasa. What is great for me, to be called as Annadasa or to be called as Ramanuja Dasa? Servant of Ramanuja is more glorious than to be called as great charitable person of food to a needy people. So he told his wife, "Let's leave now to Srirangam." Immediately, the wife got ready. She didn't even ask the second word. How are we going to? Did you book your ticket? Do we have a stay over in some place on the way? Have you purchased a house in Srirangam so we can go and live there? Do you have a job there when we go there to migrate to Srirangam? She didn't ask any of this question. The husband said, "Leave now." And the wife said, "Yes, sir." But she only carried one small measuring cup, which was made of gold. So it can be used to serve her husband when time comes. So just carried that golden measuring cup in her hidden in her sari, and they were passing through the forest. And as they are passing through the forest, Kuratarwan turned towards his wife and said, "Why do you? I feel that you are afraid of something. What's bothering you? We gave up everything in our life. Only those who have things, they should be afraid. They will be afraid. If you have a big house, a lot of money, children, etc., then people are afraid that what will happen to my son, what will happen to my daughter, what will happen to my husband, my father, mother, what will happen to my house if tornado comes?" When you have things, fear comes. When you don't have anything, there's no fear, nothing to be feared of. But why are you afraid of, Andal? And the wife said, "My dear husband, I'm afraid because I'm carrying this small measuring cup, a golden measuring cup, so that when we reach the destination, I can use this cup to serve you." And he laughed at his wife and he said, "Can you please give me that measuring cup?" And she gave to her husband. Kuratarwan took the measuring cup and threw far away, threw far away. And he turned back to his wife and said, "Now you will not have any fear," and kept walking. And his wife simply followed her husband. They went. This is a level of standard that they lived in those days. husband and wife. And Sudama and his wife were leading the same similar life. Therefore, Sudama agreed to the proposal on one day. One fine day, Kalyani said, "My dear husband, you've been telling you'll go to see Krishna. But can you please make it today? Can you go and see your friend Krishna?" And then Sudama said, "Yes, I will go today." And the children said, Papa, where are you going?" And then father said, "My dear children, I'm going to see Krishna." "Ah, we also want to come. We also want to come. You told so much about Krishna. Can you please take us also? We also want to see Krishna." And Sudama said, "Maybe next time, not this time. I myself going after long, many years. I don't know whether Krishna will remember me or not. So let me first go and meet him this time. Next time I'll take you. You please stay home and listen to your mom, and I'll be back soon." But before leaving, Sudama told Kuchela, Sudama, he said to his wife, "I'm going to meet Krishna, who's the Lord, Father of the universe. I have to give him something when I go and meet him after a long time. I have to give him." If you go and meet someone, if you go to someone's house, especially the house as older people, or if the house has younger kids, we cannot go empty handed. We have to take something for them and give them. So Krishna was a respectable person. Therefore, Sudama said, "I cannot go empty handed. So I have to take something. Can you go grab something and give it to me so I can give as a gift to Krishna?" And then wife said, "No problem. I'll just be right back." She ran into the kitchen. She's so excited. She became so very happy that finally her husband decided to go to meet Krishna. After many months and years of telling this, she went to the kitchen and just as usual, she opened the dal container. Nothing was there. She went and opened the rice container. Nothing was there. She went to open the vegetable container. Nothing was there. The house was completely empty. Nothing was there. Nothing was there. But she wants to satisfy her husband because the husband wants to go and give something. Therefore, she went to the neighbor's house. She went to the first house. Their neighbors all know about this family very well. They don't have any wealth. They don't have money. They don't have nothing. And the husband just sits and chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Does nothing. Always studying Vedas, scriptures, and goes and takes something and come and somehow they manage their life. They know very well. But then the wife went and asked, "Can you please give something? My husband is going to Dwaraka and he wants to take something. Can you please give something?" And the house lady, she went and got a handful of flat rice, chipped rice, flat rice. And then she was showing a sari. Sudama's wife was showing the sari like this. And then she dumped a handful of flat rice. And then she went to the second house. She said, "Can you please give me something?" By the way, Sudama's wife never went and asked all these days and years anyone anything. This was the first time ever she went to the neighbor's house and she asked for something which surprised them. Therefore, they were open to give her something. So she went to the second house. Interestingly, they also gave the flat rice, one handful of flat rice dumped into a sari. She went to the third house. Same stuff. She went to the fourth house. Same stuff. So she got 4 handful of chipped rice. She came back and she had some cloth. She dumped everything into that one. She made a nice bag out of it, tied it very tightly, and gave it to Sudama. Sudama took that bag. He became very happy. And that too, there's no expiry date of those rice that she got, right? Whether it's a high class or low class, nothing has been known. So he just took it. Whatever it came, he took it. He packed it and then he put it in a waste like this. and pressed it, tightened it, fastened it, and said, bye-bye, see you soon. And the wife was so very happy, smiling face. She told her, all the best. You're going to see your friend after so many years. And the children were full of tears standing near the entrance because they're going to miss their father for this many days. But then Sudama was excited. He was so very happy that because of his wife, he's going to see his dear friend, Krishna. With full joy and happiness, he said bye and then walked out of the house. As he was moving out, the wife and children were near the entrance, looking at her father, her husband. As he was going with joy, he just disappeared into the woods, going to Dwaraka. We'll stop here. And then let Sudama continue his journey. He's going to reach Dwaraka next Saturday. And then we'll see what happens then. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to share anything? Any thoughts, any questions, any comments?
Nice and dramatic commentary, Prabhu. Very nice.
Bhavya is there, Diksha. Anything that you all want to, Bhavya must be having ready with her slides, probably, I guess, to show this particular story, but don't show the next week's suspense now, please. If at all you're showing something, don't show the next week's suspense, all right? You can show any if you have, or you can wait for next week.
Prabhuji, I just have the pictures of the next week's story suspense. So that's
You
what I
have to
want.
hold on. Then you have to hold on tight. Not that no one knows what happened. Everyone knows, but we'll wait for next week. Okay, Bhavya?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, anyone else want to add anything?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I like the whole class.
You like the class. Thank you. It's all Krishna's beautiful stories from Bhagavatam, right? Very nice. What happened to other kids? I don't see them. Is Samanvi, Vaishvi is there?
Someone is in class, Prabhu. She has a class.
Any other kids here? Tanmay, right, Vijay? Your daughter's name? Is that the same Vijay who we have here still from India? I guess. Gauransh is here, I think. Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anything?
Not yet, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good. Okay, with that, I'm
Question from
yeah, Ravi, please.
not related to today's class, but in general about Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So this keep reading our Srimad Bhagavatam class in the morning. So Vyasadeva, he was feeling despondent and he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, but there were other Puranas like Vishnu Purana and other Puranas which also mentioned about Bhakti. How Bhagavatam is superior compared to other Vaishnava philosophies, literatures.
There are Purana Lakshanam. It is said Purana Lakshanam. Lakshana means what are the attributes or qualities of a Purana should be. And for a Purana to be a complete Puranam, it must have 10 Lakshanams, starting from creation onwards. Okay. So all the 10, I'm not going into the technical details here, but I'm just giving in short. All the 10 Lakshanams are fully present in Srimad Bhagavatam. Completely present in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Only in Srimad Bhagavatam?
In other Puranas also there, but it's not as detailed as that present in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Okay. So therefore, in that case, Srimad Bhagavatam plays an important role. I would also say equally Vishnu Puranam also plays an equal role. But in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we give more prominence, importance to Srimad Bhagavatam. Not to say Vishnu Puranam is not, but in our school of thought, we focus on Srimad Bhagavatam, as it's been told by the 6 Goswamis, especially led by Jiva Goswami.
So the pastimes which are in Bhagavatam are also in Vishnu Purana, right?
Yes. Yes, there are stories which are present over there, and there could be stories, additional stories over here, over there. There could be plus and minus here and there, in the way it's been presented. And interestingly, Vishnu Puranam is actually spoken or delivered by Vyasa, Parasara. Parasara.
Father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll hand it over to Ashok Prabhu, but I'm going to talk about next Saturday. There's something next Saturday. Unfortunately, I have to travel to Bloomington. Options are we can have a early class, or I can have a Ravi Prabhu or Ashok Prabhu to give a. Ashok Prabhu is not available next Saturday. I can ask Ravi Prabhu to give a class next Saturday, and then we can continue Dwaraka journey after a couple of weeks. I'm sorry to have this breaks in between, which I really don't want to, but somehow have some other commitments are there to take care. So
Sudama is taking longer to reach.
You should understand there is no jet airways, or there is no car, or he has to walk. He has to walk. It's going to take 2 weeks time for him to walk to Dwaraka. Right. It is reasonable. So do not blame us. Sudama his route is like that.
Right.
Thank you, Ashok, for helping me. So we can have, if you all say yes, we can continue next Saturday with some other topic, and we can or we can break next Saturday and continue. Whatever you all feel. What, Ashok, you want to help us to decide about next Saturday class?
I think it's up to Ravi Prabhu. If he's available to take the class, then we should have it. Otherwise, then we'll just do it on 24th.
And Ravi, how about you?
I'm available, Prabhu. I can do, but I don't know. I'm not sure if devotees would be interested to join. If they are available to join, I'm okay, Prabhu.
Okay, for now we'll continue to have a class next Saturday.
Okay, Prabhu.
Whoever joins, you can do it with full enthusiasm, whatever number we have. Thank you. Okay, Prabhu, back to you, Ashok Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So any questions, anything else, any comments about the class, or any other questions about the Gita in general or Srimad Bhagavatam?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have one quick question on Panch Samskaras, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So in the Urdhva Pundram one, I think, like, does ladies also have to put the tilak on 12 places, Prabhu?
Nice question. So for ladies, it is, you can mark it with water, these places, but in the on the forehead, you can have a churnam, Sri Churnam.
Okay.
And Sri Churnam, you can also have the white
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Okay. So the remaining places we can just touch with water, you were saying.
With water, or you can even touch with the tilak also.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can always put tilak in, for ladies also, they can put tilak in 12 parts. That's the thing that you should not put.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'm glad that everybody is listening to the classes. The sloka 1866 is 3 months now. Very nice, though. Uh, very good. So,
Someone was asking, are you targeting for 100? I said, I don't target for anything. I didn't plan for anything. It's just happening like that. So
yeah.
I
No,
did
it's
not-
good. It's good that we are continuing to hear, because otherwise the Gita is going to be over after this, so
Yeah, once 66 is closed, then
Yeah,
everything passed.
that's what I'm saying, that it'll be over. So then what are we going to do? So we have to think of that. All right, Prabhu, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. And we'll resume next week with Ravi Prabhu and reconvene with Lal Prabhuji in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna.